5 items I want to visit with you about. The first item is a review of the Edmond Electric Luminance and the holiday ice rink activities at Mitch Park. This was the 3rd season for the Luminance event. It started on the 21st of November, ran through the 3rd of January. The annual attendance increased despite several of the special events being canceled by COVID. The estimated total attendance was about 72,000 people, which is basically twice the number of people that we had last year. There were also over 65,000 social media engagement promotions through Facebook. The number of displays that we had out there increased from 30 to 35. And the EEDA has projected that this event generated over $200,000 in local sales tax dollars and resulting in a total economic impact to the community of almost $6.7 million. So that's an impressive number. The attendance at the outdoor ice rink operated by Express Ice through Dimitri Logatine also increased significantly. This was the 11th year that we've had the ice rink operation, and this was their best season since they opened. There were 18,858 skaters, paid skaters, and that total was up 36% from what they had last year. So very good news on both of those events. The second item is an update on the ice storm debris collection. And as you all know, we've talked about it a few times. It is a massive project, and most people don't have any concept of how big it is. But the contractor is Arbor Master. They continue to make very good progress, both with the initial collection through the community and now on the second round of collections as well. When we first looked at this, the initial estimated volume of the debris to be collected was about 275,000 cubic yards. And the initial funding allocation was $3.5 million. The projected volume was upgraded to 600,000 cubic yards when you approved an additional supplemental appropriation of $3.6 million back in December. The total volume is now estimated to be 900,000 cubic yards. That is a staggering figure. And on tonight's agenda, we are requesting an additional $4.6 million in supplemental funding to complete the project, which brings the total estimated cost up to around $11.7 million. For comparison purposes, prior to this storm, the largest debris collection that we ever had in the community was for the 2015 Thanksgiving ice storm. And that storm totaled 150,000 cubic yards. So what we're looking at with this storm is over 5 times as large as what we experienced a few years ago. Hopefully, this is a record that won't be broken for a long time. The good news is that we should be reimbursed for 87.5% of our expenses from the federal government, or FEMA, as a result of the federal disaster declaration that affected 13 counties. The third item is an expansion of Gracelawn Cemetery. The city-owned and operated Gracelawn Cemetery was founded in 1895, and a few years ago it was expanded by an additional 21 acres north of the cemetery to provide additional burial space. This expansion will utilize 7 of those 21 acres and provide 25 years of additional inventory. The area will have a more park-like feel and add a couple of new options, such as a columbaria, which is a place to store cremated remains, and also a committal shelter, which is a pavilion where you can have internment services away from the actual gravesite. The construction on this project began last June, and if you've been out there recently, they are making very, very good progress. The project's estimated to be completed by the end of April. Near the end of construction, we will begin selling plots and niches in that new area as well. The total cost of the project is about $3.2 million, and the funding comes from the 2017 repurposed capital improvement sales tax. The fourth item is just a review of the tremendous growth that we have experienced and are experiencing in our local tennis programs. The recent opening of the new Edmond Center Court facility near 15th and Kelly in partnership with the Edmond Public Schools has resulted in even more growth in these programs. And we continue to be very pleased with our partnership with David and Lisa Minahan to bring this about. Some of the highlights from last year include hosting 12 USTA sanctioned tournaments, 2 sectional USTA events, and an international tournament in partnership with UCO. Junior classes for kids continue to be sold out, and we're also seeing increased participation in the adult programs as well. 3 additional teaching professionals were hired. The site hosted an adaptive tennis program, We Are Champions, with the Down Syndrome Clinic. They are working with the Special Olympics to bring tennis into their program, including serving as a facilitator and coaching the athletes as well. And they partnered with Coffee Creek Apartments to offer free weekly tennis clinics to children 18 and under. So very, very impressive list. And again, we're very, very pleased with our partnership with the Minahans. Very impressive. And the last area is an update on sales and use taxes. The numbers from our finance director, Kathy Panis, are very positive. For now, this represents our 7th check of the current fiscal year. The collection period includes the last 2 weeks in October and the first 2 weeks in November. Sales tax collections increased last month almost 6.5% over the same period last year. And now for the year, we're up 3.87% for the year cumulatively. Use tax revenue increased over 39% for the month and is now up almost 22% for the year. And the combined revenue for sales and use tax collections is up over 7.6% for the year. And when you factor that into the year that we've had, the uncertainty that we've had, we had 2 negative months back in the spring, and all the uncertainty given what might happen with the pandemic. We feel very, very blessed with where we are.